This is my monthly trip to Diego. I don't really enjoy being at sea, but we need to check on the scrappers and get a new load to take back to Mauritius. The Americans landfilled the whole lagoon to build bigger facilities. They shut down a lot of other island bases and moved everything here. But then their economy collapsed, and they offered to give the island back to us. They left everything: airplanes, submarines, missiles, bombs. The air is really bad, and we need to wear suits when we're here. The chemical weapons are still decomposing. It's going to take another 50 years until our people can come back here with their children. In the meantime, we have 200 people from the Maldives working in the hangars. Their islands were submerged, so they're grateful to be here. We were lucky that the Americans built strong wave breaks all around Diego. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any land left either. The scrappers have to stay inside the hangars. They keep the air clean, so they can work all day. Sometimes all night too, when we have a big order to put through. In the plantation, the coconut branches are swaying very gently. When there's no wind like this, it can get quite hot, but the kids are still running around. Some of them said information got out online that the military was flying in. We've done a good job of keeping the runway in good condition, so they should be satisfied. And the plantation is healthy, but you never know what it looks like from up there. It's important that none of the sonars be visible in satellite images. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if they were seen. Would Diego be bombed to destroy the whole system? And would all the drones just fall to the bottom of the sea without a system of command? Or would they keep swimming around aimlessly? I just realized the system has got to be working, because I can feel the ripples from a strike just a few kilometers away. We're proud to be a part of this. When I wake up, the first thing I do is turn on the heat. It's always cold here, and I don't think I'll ever get used to it. But my daughter will. She's growing up here. I wonder if she remembers our old home in Mauritius. I think about it often. And when I turn on the TV, sometimes they talk about Diego. The base was used during the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, I think. They never say where all the bombers are coming from on the news, but that's what the other islanders have told me. A group of us moved here together when we were given British passports. We thought life would be easier in the UK, but after years of saving, I still can't afford to buy a house. I have a job as a cleaner at the airport. My English isn't so good, and sometimes I'm given a hard time by the other workers. But most of the time, I'm alone. It's never really quiet in an airport, but I work during the quiet hours, between midnight and 6 in the morning. After that, people start arriving, and by 7 or 8, flights are taking off and landing. That's the time my daughter leaves the house to go to school. I'm on the bus home then, and I always miss her. The coalition flies a plane here once a week. Its plant workers are on short rotations to minimize radiation. When the coconut plantation stopped being profitable, our parents had to take payments by the coalition. We allowed them to do nuclear tests underground and underwater. And then they built the nuclear power plant so that people in the coalition wouldn't need to produce any electricity in their own countries. My friends and I are putting on a huge show tonight. I think it might be turning into a job for us. Few people work on Diego. The nuclear subsidies are enough to live here. I feel bored a lot of the time. That's why I'm excited about these shows that we're putting on in the old part of the power plant. In the lagoon of Diego, every year the coral spawns. No one knows exactly when this will happen, but we go out every day and check on the reefs. The tourists come in on their boats, usually 1 or 2 a week. They come from India, Saudi Arabia, Australia. It's a secret journey. The most important thing is to receive them well and make them feel safe. Often the families will just lie on the beach and enjoy the sun. I think some of them don't know about the real reason they came here. Diego is not just a resort, it's a secure data bank too. Some of us help in the labs and we hear about the information they bring to be hidden in our reefs. The scientists translate sensitive data from digital to genetic code. Then they produce coral sperm with this DNA. We store the modified sperm until the reefs start turning pink, usually around the full moon in April. Then we rush to our fishing boats and pour the synthetic spawn into the lagoon. Soon there's no difference between what they produce in the labs and what's coming from the ocean. We don't really know where all this hybrid coral goes, but the clients seem pretty happy when they leave, especially if they see the spawning. Then they know that we've kept our promise of getting their information into something that can't be tracked.